What if the most unthinkable move in modern NBA history is no longer fantasy, but a real conversation happening behind closed doors? LeBron James potentially joining Nikola Jokic in Denver, a pairing that would instantly turn the reigning champions into a super team so dominant it could break the balance of the entire Western Conference overnight.
Senior writers Vincent Goodwill and David Dennis Jr. with us now. Let me just say, America, we all got on the same vibe, same color, so we're on to a good start right now, fellas. Let me just say that. But Vince, let me start with you. We've heard the possibility of LeBron to Miami, Cleveland, and Philly. What's another intriguing destination out there?
On Rich Paul's board, there was something that looked like the Denver Nuggets on that board. You think about what the Nuggets have not accomplished since winning the championship a few years ago. Knocked out in the second round twice, knocked out in the first round once. Like, this team has been far away from the championship discussion. But if you had LeBron James there next to Nikola Jokic, and on a team that had the best offense in the league last year, they would be right back into the championship conversation. Can you imagine the pairing between those two guys with the way that offense runs? He could take a little bit of pressure off of Jokic. Jokic could take a lot of pressure off of him. I think that's an intriguing destination we haven't talked much about from a basketball standpoint. And I think in the Western Conference, that'd be a little bit scary.
Yeah, a lot scary, Vince. But David, I'll ask you what Vince just kind of put out in the air. What would a LeBron-Jokic pairing look like?
First of all, I don't know if I need to complain to HR or producers or whoever, but I was promised that I would not be on television agreeing with Vinny Goodwill, and I'm here first thing in the morning agreeing with Vinny Goodwill. I have a reputation to uphold, everybody. This is not good for my brand right now, but I do agree with him. It's the Denver Nuggets, and I saw it on the board. I perked up. It was interesting to me, the idea of LeBron James and Jokic together. They could roll the basketball out, and these dudes could just figure out how to play seamless basketball with one another. They're just that smart. And on a given night, LeBron James could be the third option on that team. So that gives him a little respite with Aaron Gordon there. If he's healthy, defensively, he helps. Part of this, though, a little bit of this on Denver. They got to figure out what they're going to do with Peyton Watson, and if they're going to try to make that move for LeBron, which would put them in the second apron, which is something they do not really want to do. But Jokic deserves a real shot, and trying to get LeBron James there gives him another real shot and a crack at the championship. I feel so much better. Nature is healing because once again, I'm right and Vinny's wrong. So to me, it's Golden State. Golden State just makes perfect sense for LeBron James. When him and Steph Curry are together, it is basketball nirvana. We saw this at the Olympics. These two guys know how to play together. Just the idea of LeBron James, Stephen Curry, pick and roll, Draymond helping run that offense, the old guys getting together. This just feels like a storybook ending, a way to end that rivalry that defined so much of a decade ago. These guys giving it one more run. It makes basketball sense. It makes storytelling sense. It makes sense from a fan standpoint. This is just the perfect ending for the LeBron James and Stephen Curry rivalry.
Wherever he ends up, we're going to love it, and we're going to watch. LeBron turns 42.
Around the league. I'm out here at Salt Lake City Summer League, and I can't tell you how many times I asked that question, I heard that question. And look, Cleveland is considered the favorite. People are just connecting dots here. This isn't based on intel. This is based on the speculation game. But there's a storyline in it. You know, LeBron's in his hometown of Akron, hanging out with his high school teammates, including one, Brandon Weems, who is a front office executive for the Cavaliers right now. Now, there is a belief that there are other teams, kind of the wild card teams, the Sixers, the Timberwolves, the Nuggets, that feel like they have legitimate chances. And the Nuggets are an especially intriguing situation for the simple fact that they have a three-time MVP in Nikola Jokic. They have the proven core of a championship team. LeBron does have relationships with people in the building, including at the top of the building, Josh Kroenke, the chairman, the day-to-day ownership presence. You know, Jared Dudley was a championship teammate of his with the Los Angeles Lakers. He's now an assistant coach there. Peyton Watson, a restricted free agent, also represented by Rich Paul. That's an interesting little dance. The Clippers also have interest in him, by the way. But again, imagine LeBron and Joker, two of the most brilliant basketball minds of all time, sharing the same team.
We've officially hit maniacal levels when we get the whiteboard out and we start connecting the dots between LeBron and different players and places.
Okay, so you and Michael at a good spot.
Who, me and Michael?
Jordan?
Yeah, we're in a good spot. We don't talk.
Why not, you think?
Because I'm still playing. I think I'm still playing. I'm still focused on my craft right now.
When you're done, you think you two will be the
I would
only
hope
two
so.
that can have a conversation?
I would hope so. You know, the funny thing is, me and Kobe, besides our, the late great Kobe, obviously, me and Kobe never had a real relationship either until we was on the Olympic team. We had a great relationship there. Olympic team 8, Olympic team 12, but it was always competitive between us. We were always like, I was on the East Coast, he was on the West Coast, and it was like, even though we never. I fucked up one time in 09 and didn't beat Orlando, and I think it was 09, didn't beat Orlando and didn't get him an opportunity to play him in the finals. But and until I became a Laker and then he retired, that's when our relationship became really, really good.
Yeah.
He welcomed me, called me bro, anything you need in LA, I got you. You're a Laker now, you family. And we would have multiple conversations. He was obviously, you got saw him coming to a lot of games and things of that nature. And when I passed him in the scoring record in Philly, I think he had a tweet out there keep on going, keep transcending the game, keep going, and that shit meant so much to me. So I think it's because I'm still playing, and MJ's, we all know MJ. Even if you don't know him personally, he's one of the most ruthless competitors there is. And till I'm done. And he doesn't have to look at me run up and down wearing the number 23. And every time my name is mentioned with his. He's like, I don't want to fucking talk to you.
Yeah, I want to golf course.
This is no longer just rumor. It is no longer fantasy. Somewhere behind closed doors, the idea that should have been erased immediately is still alive. LeBron James, at 42 years old, potentially joining Nikola Jokic in Denver? And if that sounds unreal, listen carefully, because the conversations are not about if it fits. They are about how unstoppable it becomes. A pairing between a 4-time champion and a 3-time MVP, Nikola Jokic, doesn't just change a team. It rewrites the entire Western Conference hierarchy overnight. What happens when the smartest passer in NBA history meets the most efficient offensive engine the league has ever seen? The answer might be something the NBA has never been ready for. But this didn't appear out of nowhere. It started with whispers and a board full of destinations that no one expected to see together. Around the league, insiders describe a shifting list, not official, but very real in conversation. LeBron's name has been loosely connected to Miami, Cleveland, Philadelphia, even the Clippers. But then came the name that changed the tone entirely: Denver Nuggets. Senior voices around the league have pointed out something critical. This Nuggets team, despite winning a championship just a few seasons ago, has not maintained dominance. Early playoff exits, inconsistency, pressure mounting. And yet, the structure is still there. A championship core, a system built for intelligence, not chaos. And above it all, a franchise searching for one more edge. That's where the idea becomes dangerous. Because when a player like LeBron James enters the conversation, it is no longer about need. It is about escalation. And when you break down the basketball reality, the Denver scenario stops sounding wild and starts sounding engineered. Imagine it. A system led by a player who controls tempo like a chess master, Nikola Jokic, a 3-time MVP, orchestrating every possession. Now placed beside him, LeBron James, a player still averaging elite-level creation deep into his 40s, still reading defenses before they form. Denver already fielded one of the most efficient offenses in the league. Now you add another all-time floor general. The result is not just improvement, it is overload. Jokic relieves pressure, LeBron relieves pressure, and suddenly there is no weak point to attack. Even defensively, the question shifts. Can the league survive 48 minutes of decision-making perfection? But there is a price. Financial constraints, second apron pressure, roster sacrifices, depth collapse. A championship window sharpened so aggressively, it could cut both ways. But Denver is not the only storyline in this storm, because across the league, another narrative is building that feels almost scripted. If Denver is about domination, Golden State is about destiny. The idea of LeBron James and Stephen Curry sharing the same floor was once impossible, Now, it is being spoken about with unusual calm.
Two generational rivals, a decade of finals battles, and now a potential partnership.
Add Draymond Green into that equation, a system built on motion, intelligence, spacing, and chaos control. This is not just basketball. This is narrative completion. People inside the league describe it in one phrase: basketball nirvana. Because the pick and roll between LeBron and Curry alone would bend defensive schemes beyond recognition. But there is irony here. The rivalry that defined an era, ending in the same jersey. And yet, even with all these storylines colliding, the loudest emotional pull may still come from where it all began. Cleveland is not speculation. It is emotion. LeBron's hometown, Akron roots, a franchise tied to his identity in ways no other team can replicate. Around the league, some believe Cleveland remains the quiet favorite, not because of roster strength, but because of connection. Family ties, former teammates now in the front office, familiar faces behind the scenes. And then there is the reality of time. LeBron James, at 42 years old, is not chasing development anymore. He is chasing meaning. Every season now feels like a final chapter that refuses to close. Even he has admitted, relationships in this league evolve only after competition ends. Legends respect each other only when the war is over. But the war is still ongoing. And until it ends, every destination remains possible. Every rumor remains alive. And so the question is no longer where LeBron James will go. It is what kind of NBA survives after the decision is made.
Yo, mic check 1 to 2, -1, -2. Game over for this video, folks. Smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to stay in the huddle for more. This is NFL Madness, bringing the heat and signing out.